Hello, I'm going to show you how to create a question for students to respond to in Google Classroom. What you're going to do is you're going to press create, and instead of assignment, you're going to go down to where it says question and then click on that one. Here you'll put your actual question. So maybe it's um, what part of Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech impacted you the most? And here you can go to short answer or multiple choice. I really like the short answer feature because then students get to write things out, and I get to actually hear, their voice in the writing. So you can here put some instructions down. So make sure to use complete sentences. We can say respond to one or let's do two. Respond to two different peers and put also incomplete sentences. So we're going to have two questions. And here, what's great is you can add a resource to it. So let's say I pulled up the I Have a Dream speech on YouTube. So maybe I want to support my students and give them the audio version, the live version recorded there. And I'm just going to use a link. I could use YouTube since it's YouTube, but it doesn't matter. It's the same. So I'm going to press Control V to paste the link. I'm going to add the link. Now the kids can watch the 6-minute speech. And I can also add the link to this PDF that I found, word for word for his speech. Or I believe this was actually an excerpt. It's not the whole one. I'm going to select the link, copy it, go back to my classroom, paste it. So now I can have students either read it or they can watch it. Now here, you would select if you have multiple classes, then you could select all the different periods you want us to be associated to. You can say all students have to respond to each other, or maybe you are doing this for some advanced students and you're only giving it to those couple students, and you would only select the students who you want to be part of that question. Maybe only 3 students are finished with the other assignments and you're trying to give them some more, so you select 3 people. Or you can also select the whole class. This is also a great way to support students who maybe are on the lower end. So just basically differentiating in general. Obviously, your grading category, whatever you've set up, points, the due date. I again recommend that when you select the due date, that you change the time because it automatically says 11:59 p.m. So change it to something more reasonable for students so they're not procrastinating or working super late. You can select the topic. If you're doing distance learning, then you'd want to select it by the week. And then here, there's a great feature. Students can reply to each other, and this is probably my favorite part. So you don't have to have it that way. It could just be something you see, but I've found it to be much more interesting, and kids know that they have to take it a little bit more serious if their peers are going to see it. This button depends. So as students can edit answers. At the very beginning, I suggest using that feature only because students tend to be a little bit intimidated when they see other people's really good answers, and they may want to go back to revise and make them better. But you do have to be careful because students might tend to copy because they think somebody else's is better since it's longer, or whatever it may be. So maybe just making sure to let your students know that you want their original answers, and that editing's allowed for like misspellings or if you have like a new aha moment, but to leave other people's ideas out of their own post. But this is definitely a conversation you'd have to have with your students. But I do like to leave it checked, especially in the beginning. Then I'm going to go to ask. Now I can also schedule it to maybe be for the next day, or I can save it. I'm going to save it for our purposes. And just want to show you really quick what it would look like. It's grayed out because it's a draft. But this is what it would look like. You can go back and edit the question, of course, if you made a mistake or a misspelling. I also want to show you what it would look like in a live classroom. So this is one of my old classrooms from 2018. So what I had students do in this one is I had students read each other's narratives, and I asked them a few questions. And I also numbered them. which you'll see what happened when I numbered them with the students because they tend to kind of copy my directions. So one was, who was your partner? What was something you can compliment your partner on? Three, what was something your partner could do to improve their narrative? And I did provide some sample answers because that seems to help trigger them to make sure that they're complete sentences. So then here are some of the responses that they gave me. So my partner was, no period, but it was still a mostly complete sentence. I like he related the story with his friends. And three, I would suggest he would add dialogue. And of course, you know, seventh graders tend to not have perfect answers, but here we go. Here's another one. My partner was Raymond Garnica. Something that my partner did was the dialogue in his story. Something my partner could possibly do is to make an ending to his story. Um, let's see. I like this one right here. My partner was Susanna. I love the names that she chose. So kids are complimenting each other, and that was probably one of my favorites. What I did notice is that a lot of the kids use that numbering system that I showed you earlier in my question and my directions, and also that me asking them for their favorite part helped them remember to look for the good in all of everybody's writings. And even some people were interested in asking, "Hi, Daisy, sounds like your story was great. Can I read it too?" So then they would share it with each other, and it kind of helps students see other modeled narratives and made theirs improve before they submitted their final draft. So, anyway, this is just to show you an idea of what you could do. I'm sure the possibilities are endless, and you can do a lot of things with it. But I hope this helps your Google Classroom experience. Take care.